Why is it so quiet?
Because it's a Wednesday.
I'm so dead. How's everybody's week doing? Wow, we're quiet.
Oh yeah. Is he on here?
Let me see
I need to wish him happy birthday.
Yeah, we're getting people signed up. Hopefully I have my interns on here. Interns, if you can, just text on the group chat, hey, I'm here, so I can keep track of attendance. That'll be very, very helpful.
Hey y'all. Who's in here? Oh. How are y'all doing?
Doing good.
Good.
That's good. Okay, so we're gonna let a couple people, of course, trickle on in. 5:29, so we'll probably get started in like the next 2 minutes.
Stephanie, what are you eating? Or Stephania, what are you eating?
Oh my god, I'm eating chips. Sorry.
Sounds like I'm at Chuck E. Cheese when they're eating the tickets.
Nah, dude, it's these authentic Mexican chips my dad brought me. I am living it up right now.
What are they?
They're the sabrositas.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like the Lay's, the I guess the red ones. What are those called?
Stop, you're hungry.
Oh yeah, they're good. I'll save you some.
Cool.
Do you like the the Doritos with tapatio?
Ooh, I have not tried those. How are they?
They're at Walmart. They're so good.
Okay. I'm going to Walmart right now. JK.
But I don't think I have a bag. I think I ate them all. They're so good.
Mm-hmm. Yum.
You're making me hungry.
I had a goldfish.
All right. Okay, so how many people do we have here? Looking at the list. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 5:31 p.m. So thank you guys for coming to our Senate meeting for today. So we do have a couple items on the agenda and of course a couple of appointments. So I'm gonna go ahead and give David the time to go ahead and start with attendance and then we'll get started.
Alrighty, Senator Casey. Senator Casey, here. Perfect. Senator Christopher.
He will not be here.
Yep. Runs down. And then there's me. And there's Grant. Senator Hector.
Here.
Senator JT. Okay. Senator Jordan.
Here.
Senator Kelsey.
Here.
Senator Melissa. Senator Melissa. Okay. Senator Navia.
Here.
Senator Paola.
Here.
Senator Ryan.
Ryan had to step away. He had like an RA issue.
Okay.
So he'll probably show up a little later.
Okay. Senator Stefania. Here. Senator Tara.
Tara also said she was going to be showing up late too.
Okay. Get that down. Senator Maria.
And Maria is not going to be here.
Okay. Senator Sophia.
Sophia, I'm sorry, but Sophia texted me and told me she might end up showing late. She has something for band, so she'll either be late or won't be here.
Okay. Senator Melissa.
Here.
Yay. Senator Victoria
Here.
and Senator Bushra.
Here.
Perfect. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 senators. 7 senators that are not present at the moment.
Okay. You said 7 senators?
Yes. So do
Okay.
we have quorum?
Well, you can let me know, actually. I'll let you do the math.
19.
I think we need to be at 13 for quorum.
We're 12.
And quorum is 13?
19 divided by 2. I think it should be 10. Am I mistaken? It should be 50% plus 1.
It'll be 2/3, so it'll be 13.
Oh, never mind then. Then when you were missing 1 senator to get quorum.
Okay, that's exciting. Well, let me see. I'm gonna, cause I don't wanna fully
I
critique.
think it's 50% plus 1. Let me check bylaws.
You know, quorum's 2/3.
Krista is nodding her head yes to the 50% plus 1. And no to the 2/3. In case you did not see that.
I don't even see Krista.
Y'all look at Constitution Article 4.
Article 4.
I'm looking at the
Section
wrong
5.
thing.
Article 4, Section 5.
Okay.
Yes, 50% plus 1 of the Senate or the seated senators shall be constitute quorum. So I think we're good.
8. Yeah, okay. Okay. So first item that we have on the agenda, so Holly actually just emailed me. So let me email her back and see if she got into the teams. In the organization, I'm sorry. She said that she couldn't get inside the teams. Okay, so as we'll wait for her, I'll go ahead and just bring up minutes for the agenda. So we're approving minutes from our last meeting that we had. So that meeting was like about 17 minutes. The items that were on the agenda just included meeting minutes, and then of course the election calendar. Okay, so right here I have meeting minutes. Were there any objections to meeting minutes that were submitted last week? Or that were submitted for this meeting? Okay, so if there's no objections, we'll go ahead and approve meeting minutes unanimously. Okay, Michael, can you please approve Holly? I don't know if you see her on your screen. Sorry, these technical difficulties we're having. Lillian, oh, here it is. I'll just do it myself. Okay. So we'll wait for Holly to come in and so she can give her presentation, and I'll go ahead and just bring it up. I'm gonna give her presenting rights, but I just wanted to just put it up on the screen. So she'll have it right there. Let me see, has she joined in? Holly Matthews. Okay, here she's joining now. Holly, are you with us? Oh.
There we go. Yeah, sorry. I've never used Microsoft Teams, so I couldn't find the unmute. That's my bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're all good. Do you have strong internet connection for you to go through the presentation, or do you want me just to do it?
You can totally do it.
Okay. So just give me, just let me know when you want me to go to the next slide, and I'll I'll go ahead and do it for you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Holly Matthews. I am an Honors College ambassador for this school year. I used to be in the intern program, so I'm very familiar with all of SGA and like how it works and everything. I'm so thankful to Cameron for letting me speak to y'all tonight. Basically, I'm just here to talk to you guys about the Honors College and what we have to offer. Basically, that's it. So you can go to the next slide, please. Perfect. Okay, so some of the things I'm going to be talking about today are the smaller class sizes that we have in the Honors College, the class structure that there typically is, some perks like the different programming options that we have, and the Honors College Student Lounge, dorm life, and friendships. So that's it for this slide. Perfect. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is one of the main perks of joining the Honors College is just having a lot smaller class sizes. And a lot of people have the misconception that honors classes are significantly harder than just regular classes, but that's really not the case. In the Honors College, because you have such smaller class sizes, you're going to be able to have a stronger relationship with your professors, which is going to be really important for you as you all start graduating, because you're going to need recommendation letters to start getting internships and jobs. And if you have just these closer connections, you're going to get a more in-depth letter from them, rather than just, oh, her name was Holly, she got an A, she came to class. They're actually going to know your personality, and so that's going to help you in the future. But other than that, a lot of people think the honors classes are harder, and really I typically think they're easier, just because it's easier to ask questions, it's easier to discuss with your professor and your peers, and it's just a more fun environment. Okay, that's it for that slide. Okay, and then kind of how the class structure works is, I say it's less focused on like lecture test, which happens a lot in college classes, which is fine, and a lot of people learn well that way, and I learn like that too. But what's really awesome, I think, about honors courses is they're a lot more discussion based. So it's going to be a lot more interaction, a lot more collaborative with both your peers and your professors, and just you take a more hands-on learning approach in your own education. So that's it for this one. Perfect. Changing topics a little from classes. One of my favorite perks that the Honors College has as a student is the Honors College Student Lounge. It's in the 3rd floor of Sage Hall, and we have free coffee and free printing for Honors College students, which can come in handy, especially around the middle and the end of the semester when you're running out of printing credits. Basically, it's also a space where we have events, as well as like a whiteboard and all these tables and couches and everything, where you can just collaborate with others, work on homework, study. It's just a great space. This semester, it's obviously a little bit different, but hopefully by next year, it's going to be back to being open and everything. So that's a great perk that we do have. Okay, that's it for this one. Perfect. I know a lot of you guys probably already know where you're living or are living off campus, but another perk of the Honors College is getting to live in Honors Hall. That's our upperclassmen honors dorm. I know the rooms, you get a little bit more privacy. I think a lot of them have individual rooms with a closable door, and then like a common like little space with you and your roommate, that like a little table and a little kitchenette. So it's one of the newer dorms on campus, so it's pretty nice, and you have more privacy there as well. Okay, that's it for this one. And then finally, I wanted to just talk about the perk of having some Honors College friends. A lot of them are really academically inclined, and so if you're really want to focus on studying, they're going to be there for you for that. But they're also really a lot of fun, and have you meet people from all different walks of life, different majors. So it's really fun to just sit down and have conversations with your new peers as well. So that's it for that one. And then finally, here is kind of just how you can go through the process to be admitted to the Honors College. Since you guys are all going to be continuing students, the only things you're going to need are a transcript, a personal statement, and a resume. I don't know why personal statement is there twice. That's my bad. But you're going to need those 3 things to submit. Basically, the application is now open for spring. And then if you get admitted, you can apply to live in Honors Hall. enroll in honors college class, and then we also have our awesome honors college advisors. And so, like, I just wanted to wrap it up by saying the honors college is also willing to work with any major. I know sometimes in certain majors it's really difficult people think it's really difficult to get honors college credits, and sometimes it is, but our amazing, I can't think of the word, advisors are always willing to work with you and your major professors to make sure you get honors college credit for the upper level classes that you do have to take. So if any of you are interested, definitely feel free to give the Honors College a call or email any of the Honors College ambassadors. Our emails can be found on the Honors College website. And you can definitely come see us in Sage 320. But that's everything. Thank you guys so much for letting me speak to you. I hope you have a great rest of your meeting.
Were there any questions for Holly before she left? And thank you, Holly, for your presentation as well.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I have one. So, like you said, that the honors college classes are not necessarily as harder as the regular classes. So, besides those three things you need, is there a certain GPA you need?
I am not sure what the GPA requirement for continuing students is. I know it's lower than for the freshmen, like the incoming freshmen. So I'm just not aware of what it would be this upcoming year, but you can find that information on the website, I believe. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Were there any other questions? Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Holly. I hope you have a great rest of your night.
Have a good rest of your meeting.
All right. Bye. Okay. So next thing we have on the agenda, so moving to new business. So we've already approved our minutes from last meeting. So we have a Senate appointment. So we have Alexica Johnson here with us, who is up for a seat for the College of Science. Alexica, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, Alexica. All right. Hey. So I know we talked about 2 weeks ago on exactly, how to be prepared. This is your time just to kind of give us a little spiel on who you are and, why you want to join SGA.
Okay, so I'm Alexica. I am a junior. I'm majoring in biology with a minor in chemistry and psychology. I'm in the forensic science program as well. A little bit about me is I'm in Future Without Poverty. I was a community director in that. I'm just a member right now. I'm also in Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and I'm also on exec there. I'm an internal audit committee. What else? I guess that's about it for right now this semester, because of like everything in the pandemic, because it's crazy right now, but that's about it. And hopefully Senate.
All right. Okay, Senate, this is your time to go ahead and do any motions. Go ahead, David.
You're muted, David.
You're muted, David.
I'm so dead. I moved to a period of questioning.
Casey seconds.
Okay,
Okay.
Perfect.
So, David, you have the first question.
Yeah. So, Alexica, my question for you is like, what's your vision for the College of Science? What ideas do you want to bring, or what legislation ideas do you want to pass?
I wouldn't say, I don't really have a legislation in mind, but really my vision would more so be like for me, because I am in the forensic science program, I kind of want to showcase our like views and like what's the word? Like I want to stand in for that, because I just know like for me, like I just see College of Science more so like with pre-med people, and more so specialty like programs of College of Science don't really have a voice. So I kind of want to use my platform in that specialty program to speak for us.
Okay. Casey, did you have a question?
I did not.
Okay. Okay, were there any other questions?
Joseph had a question, Cameron.
Yes. So can you please provide some examples of problems of the students that if they've come to you with or an initiative that you have that with other students you want to see happen, some initiatives or ideas that you would like to implement?
Are you asking, you said, I'm sorry, I was confused. You said what type of initiatives that students, like I want to happen?
Like, have you had any of, if you are appointed, you will be a senator, and obviously you will have some constituents. Have you done or talked to any of those constituents on what they would like to see improved for your college that you could implement in SGA or through SGA?
I would say mostly from the people that I've talked to in the college, their biggest concerns are like advisors, and especially like right now, like it's like some of the people that I've talked to with like it's a lot of lack, like not lack of communication, but it's a lot of like there's not stable communication. So, like some people hear one thing from someone else and then they'll hear something completely different. So it kind of just be like talking with advisors, like, hey, like what exactly are you wanting from people and what is this, that, and the third? Because like I know, like even like yesterday, I had an appointment with like my advisor and I'd heard one thing, but then it didn't go against from what I heard from somebody else. So it was kind of just like I kind of just want like what exactly do advisors want out of us and what we expect out of advisors. So I think that's like the biggest thing.
Very, very, very good answer. And then, can you please speak on the importance of oversight and accountability in SGA? Do you
I'm
believe
conf-
oversight is important within any organization?
Can you restate that again? I didn't hear you the first part.
Can you please speak on the importance of oversight and accountability in SGA?
I would say the importance of like oversight and accountability because we as students were stronger in numbers. So I think if like me speaking out with more people behind me, like they'll like admin will like see that like, hey, like this is actually a concern. So I think like us holding them accountable will make things like change and happen.
Very good. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, Victoria.
Hi, Lexica.
Hi.
But I just want to ask you, besides bringing more light to the forensic science program of the College of Science, which I think is really like good that you want to bring awareness to it, what made you interested in applying to SGA? Like, what was your initial like initiative?
I would say initially would be I just liked that us as students have some voice and we can speak our concerns in like a professional manner. Like, you know, how people like they say that they want things to happen and like it doesn't really happen. But like I feel like in SGA as a senator, you can actually make those things like happen. You can physically, you know, see that through. So that's what I liked with this. So that's what drew me to that because I can use like my platform is this to make things better for me and so other people who come in next under me can have it better.
Thank you. I definitely agree.
Okay. Were there any more questions?
I have just one more follow-up. You did excellent on answering my question so far, but just as some more information, have you read the Constitution and bylaws, and do you feel that you can have a comfortable working knowledge of both of them?
I have not seen the Constitution and bylaws, so I can't really answer that question. So I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But thank you for being honest. That's a very good quality. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, Casey, go ahead with your question.
Am I able to recognize Devin?
Who?
Devin?
I can't hear you.
Devin?
Are there any objections to allowing Devin to speak? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Senator. Hi. I'm really glad to see that there's Senate appointments for this semester, and I'm glad to see that people are running. I know that oftentimes with appointments, it's really easy to, kind of post on your Twitter page and kind of reach out to friends to get signatures. I was just wondering if you reached out to a large pool of individuals to get those signatures for your appointment. Just because I know this College of Science, similar to class, is just so large, and I was just curious to see, if you were reaching out to people just outside your friend group.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I know like the first place that I went to was like GroupMe. I used like GroupMe a lot just because like it's just easier for me. I had people in my forensic science club that I asked to sign for me, and then I also went through like my other science courses as well before I went to my friends because I kind of wanted to be like reach out to other different people and just so people would like know like hey like this is what things that I'm doing.
Okay, thank you, Alexica.
No problem.
Were there any more questions or another motion?
I'd like to go to a motion of voting.
I second.
All right, so we'll go to period of voting. I just remembered I didn't make the voting sheets for today, so that's fine. Okay, so what we'll go ahead and do is we'll do it by roll call. So Senator Casey.
Point of
Aye.
real quick. Point of order. Can we can Alexia be recused so we can do this in a terms of a more anonymous way of voting? Or do you think it's are there any objections?
Alexa. Yes. So I can't remove somebody out of the chat because I've had issues in the past.
Okay, that's fine. I just
So
didn't.
it'll be an open vote. Alexa, are you fine with the open vote?
Open vote. Okay.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and do an open vote. All right. So Senator Casey.
Aye.
Senator Christopher was absent. Senator Davis.
Aye.
Senator Grant.
Aye.
Senator Hector.
Aye.
Senator Jordan.
Aye.
Senator Kelsey.
Aye.
Senator Navia. Senator Navia.
Oh, aye.
Senator Paola.
Aye.
Is Senator Ryan here? No, he hasn't hopped on. Okay. Senator Stefania.
Aye.
Senator Maria. Maria's not here. Senator Sophia's not here. Senator Melisa.
Aye.
Senator Victoria.
Aye.
Senator Bushra.
Aye.
All right, congratulations, Alexa. You've been approved unanimously by the Senate. Yay, so you can just stay on the call for the remainder of the meeting, and then I'll touch base with you within the next day on your post procedures. Yay. Okay, so we now have the College of Science fully filled. So we have a couple more colleges to tackle, but I think, we can get it down and get those numbers up within our Senate. All right, so we have a Supreme Court appointment up next, and so we have Lillian here, who is up for a Supreme Court appointment. Can you hear us, Lillian?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So like I just told Alexica, so this is your time just to give us a little more information about yourself.
Okay, awesome. My name is Lillian, but I go by Lily. I'm a junior. I am majoring in psychology and minoring in counseling. I'm in the honors college. I am a transfer student, so it is my first year here at UNT, or my first semester. But at my previous college, Victoria College, I was vice president and treasurer for our SGA, along with being secretary for our region. So I knew when I came here, I wanted to get involved with SGA again. I just didn't know exactly where I wanted to go. And then I saw the open position for Senate. So that made me really want to come in and try it.
Okay. All right, are there any motions, senators?
Motion to go to a period of questioning.
I'll need a second.
I second that.
Okay, seconded by Victoria. All right, so Grant, you have the first question.
So how did you first find out about the vacant position of the Supreme Court?
I found out about it through Instagram. I follow the SGA Instagram, and that's where I saw it.
Okay, thank you. And then have you read the Constitution and bylaws of
Grant, if you if you have a follow-up question for the next time, because you did it earlier, but you'll need to go ahead and raise your hand again for the next question, just in case if there is any other senator in line.
Okay.
Do you have another question now?
I have a couple, yes.
Okay, go ahead with your next question then.
My apologies for the interruption. Have you read the Constitution and bylaws of the SGA, and do you feel that you have a comfortable working knowledge of both?
I have gone over both the Constitution and bylaw, mostly for what is expected as the Senate or as the Supreme Court. I do plan on going back and going more in depth, but I do have a good knowledge of what is expected from me if I am appointed to the Supreme Court.
Okay. And then just one more question. Sorry, I have it written down. Do you, sorry, it's the same picture. Okay. Can you please describe that you will ensure that Article 1, Section 2 of subsection E of the Constitution is upheld? Are you familiar with that one in particular?
No, I am not, but I do have it pulled up. If you want to repeat it, I can go and find it real quick.
I'll just give you the rundown of it.
Okay.
Article 1, Section 2 of subsection E of the Constitution is the highest mandate of a member of the Student Government Association. Is that it is what we are supposed to do above all else. At that point, do you feel that you can fully be unbiased and make sure that justice kind of prevails and make sure that you are sticking to the Constitution and just basically be fair, because we have had issues in the past?
Yes, I do believe that I can be fair and follow to what is expected and fully be unbiased in the situation.
Thank you.
Okay. Was that your last question?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Are there any other questions on the floor? Oops. Okay. What the heck? Ooh. David, go ahead.
I move to recognize Devin to speak.
Are there any objections? Okay, go ahead, Devin.
Thank you, Senator. Quick question. Can you please, could you describe a situation in which you had to make a decision that interfered with a friendship that you had with any position you've held? I understand that that can happen in a number of different situations, and it sounds like you were in the SGA prior. So I'm guessing that you've been in situations of where you might have to act in the bigger interest, even if it means going against a friend. And so I just wanted to see if that's a situation you've run into and kind of how you handled that. Just because objectivity is so important in the Supreme Court, and so I think that that's an important question to ask.
I understand where you're coming from. I actually did have a situation like this at my previous SGA, and I handled it in the way of following the Constitution. It's important, like friendships are very important to me, but if they did something wrong or they went against our Constitution or bylaws, I was able to separate my friendship with them and be able to do my job and make sure that the situation was handled correctly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, were there any other questions? David, go ahead.
I move to vote on the appointment of Lillian Hawkinson to the Supreme Court.
I second.
That was seconded by who?
Stephania.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, I'm getting it together right now. All right, so here I am. I'm about to send you all the link. Just did it just now. Okay, Senate channel. Okay, please, senators, go ahead and fill out the poll for the vote Supreme Court appointment of Lillian.
Hey Cam, where's the poll?
Who asked that? Was that Kelsey?
Yes.
It's in that Senate chat, the team's chat.
Oh, okay, I found it. Thank you.
Mhm.
Guys, remember, I always do this. I always play music during voting.
Okay. Lillian, you have been approved unanimously. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. All right. So next we have on the agenda is the appointment election board. So one of the members, they dropped the position due to personal circumstances. And so we do have Daniel Ojo here with us, who will be here for that appointment. Can you hear us, Daniel?
Yes, can y'all hear and see me?
Can't see you yet.
Fun.
Okay, now I can see you.
All right, perfect. All right, so hi y'all, my name is Daniel Ojo. I use he, him pronouns, and I am a senior political science major at the University of North Texas. So I'll walk you guys through my student leadership journey, and then I'll tell you guys the ideas I have for election board. So I started off at UNT. In UPC, I was on University Program Council for 2 years. Then I was actually a senator for the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences in SGA for 3 years. Additionally, I served as the Director of External Affairs under Cabinet Administration. And then I am currently a secretary for this. I'm currently the secretary, for the North Texas 40, which is a student leadership, which is a student organization, comprised of the top 40 student leaders at UNT's campus. And I'm also an RA here at Maples Hall. So for why I want to be on election board, a problem that we've seen over the last few years in the elections is that we are seeing a decreased number in voter participation. And I think last year was kind of like the lowest we've had since Muhammad and ran. So some ideas I wanted to have for that was to make this a little bit more accessible to students. I know being virtual and stuff is not the best way. I know Cameron and Michael experienced that for the first time last year with their election. So I'm trying to see how we can make that more accessible to students. Another thing that students kind of complain about often was that we primarily use Twitter to get the word out on things. So maybe trying to focus more on Instagram and Facebook and things that the student body has more accessibility to. We could also continue the idea of having the Instagram lives that we had last time to kind of get the candidates, the candidates to talk about their campaign platforms and why they want to run. And then similarly to what's happening right now with homecoming, where they have a whole 4-hour block to have Instagram takeover, we can implement that as well. And I think that would be a really good idea and a good way for candidates to spread the word about their campaign. And we can also save that to the SGA's highlights as well. So in that way, that can be on for a prolonged amount of time. Information can be readily available to people. Additionally, something that we're seeing right now in the North Texas 40 that I think can be implemented with SGA is perhaps incentivizing people to pub the election. So I know we had an event for the North Texas 40 recently, and we got people to pub the event, and by pubbing, I was able to give them points for that. So I know that when I was in SGA, you guys had points, you guys had to table and stuff. So perhaps we could incentivize you guys getting points by saying, well, if you pub this election, if you pub these candidates and things like that, then you guys can get a point for that. And not the candidates specifically, but more so of the election. And then also perhaps advocating to Neil to allow us to have an in-person debate that we can live stream on Twitter and Instagram using the Periscope app. That could be a really cool idea because that would not be breaking any kind of CDC guidelines, considering that there's usually about 4 to 5 people in the room with the debates going on. And that's all I have for right now, and you guys can feel free to ask me any questions.
Okay, are there any questions for Daniel or any motions first?
I'd like to motion to go to a period of questioning.
Senator David seconds.
All right. Grant, go ahead with your first question.
So Daniel, forgive me, my Wi-Fi is a little crappy over here, so you kind of glitched out on me. So you are a past member of SGA?
Yeah, I've been in SGA for 2 years.
2 years, okay. So obviously you, how did you hear about the vacancy of this appointment?
So I keep up with SGA I was in it for 2 years, but also my coworker and friend Ivelisse is actually the election commissioner, and I learned about it from her. But also Michael reached out to me and asked me if I was interested in being on election board, considering you guys had an open spot.
I'm sorry. Did you say Michael reached out to you for this appointment?
Michael told me about the open spot. I had talked to him like previously in the org space, and then he told me, "Hey, we have an open spot again. If you were interested in joining."
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are there any other questions? David, did you have a question?
Me?
Yes.
Not right now.
Okay. Any motions?
Motion to move to a period of voting.
All right. Okay. I need a second though.
Senator Santos will second.
Okay. So let me go ahead and grab the link for the voting. Copy. And it has been sent. Okay. Daniel, you have been approved 10-2. So congratulations.
Thank y'all.
Bye, Daniel. Okay.
Bye.
So as we go ahead and move forward through the agenda, so next thing we have on the agenda is college reports. So College of Business is first. Paola, did you have anything to report for the College of Business? I know Melissa isn't here.
No, I did not.
Okay. Has the contacts for the introductions, did that go pretty well?
Yeah, it was we didn't really, it was just like a basic introduction. We were gonna try and set something up later to have a more like an actual conversation, you know?
Okay. Love that. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so College of Engineering. So Bushra, did you have anything for us?
Nothing to report from my end.
Okay. All right. And so I'm going to ask just for everybody, how did your connection go with or the introduction with your college dean?
I actually, I'm not sure if I received an email because I know that you said that you'd connect us to our deans, but I don't recall having received that email.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll look and see if I sent it. And if not, then I'll just go ahead and do that introduction for you all. Okay. Moving forward to Health and Public Service. Melissa, Casey, anyone have anything to report for that college?
We actually did have a meeting with our dean already after the introduction. So we had a really good conversation about, where the college is moving and, what they're doing for the student body and, talking about how they're collecting information on what the students believe is going on.
Okay, sounds good. All right, liberal arts and social sciences.
Yes, we did get the email regarding our dean, but we're waiting on a reply back.
Okay, all right. So definitely, so in those introductions, I did link you guys with at least their EAs or secretary or someone else in the office who might be thereby, because I know sometimes deans, like everybody, when he gets higher up in administration, emails get lost. So definitely, if not, I will follow up with their executive assistant if I didn't put that person in the email with them. But just let me know. Okay, College of Music. So Sophia isn't here, but she did send me her report. And so for her report, she pretty much just said, let me see what she said. I thought she messaged me. Huh. Where's it? Oh, okay, here it is. she has nothing new to report. But she has met with her college dean. I know that she was already saying that she was meeting with him, and so they've already gotten together. So I just know from that angle, she's already started conversations with her college dean. Okay, College of Science.
For the College of Science, we actually today we just sent out a follow-up email to the dean. So Dr. Gall and Ms. Baker will meet with them Wednesday, November 18th from 4 to 5. So right before the Senate meeting to kind of go over kind of our concerns or anything. But I think that's it, unless other College of Science centers have anything else to report.
Okay.
Yeah, and the legislation that I've been working on since I got appointed will be finalized by next week. So I'll be
Yay.
presenting that.
Super excited. Our second piece of legislation for the semester. So we're super excited to see. All right. Honors College. So JT isn't here and he didn't send me a report, but I'll follow up with him and see what his report is, if he has had any conversation with his college dean. Navia, do you have anything for us for TAMS?
Yeah, so I met with the TAMS and Honors College Dean, and I just addressed my concerns in regards to TAMS being virtual for the spring semester, because UNT made that decision a while ago. And then I also met with the Director of Diversity and Inclusion specifically for TAMS, and we just talked about how TAMS would have to do a better job of helping the marginalized groups or the groups with less representation feel more accepted in the community through seminars, and also to increase the responsibility TAMS has in reaching out to areas that are socioeconomically disadvantaged. So we will be having a follow-up meeting whenever her assistant emails me back.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll look forward to hearing some more information about that. And then I know we wanted to get together again to talk about your legislation as well too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is all for college reports. So we'll go ahead and move forward for speaker announcements. So for my announcements that I have a couple announcements actually. So for guest speakers, so we've had a couple this semester. We've had about I think 3 or 4 who've came, but I want to, of course, open the floor to you all for spring semester. So always feel free to email me, get in touch with me. If you all have, a student organization you're a part of, somebody who you would like to come speak to us about something that is a very pressing issue that we should be aware of, or whatever the case may be, please feel free to get to email me and let me know that you would like specific department, a specific person to come present. We are allowed to have guest speakers at our meetings, and I'm able to, of course, have time at the beginning of the meeting for our guest speakers. So please feel free to do that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that part. So center of the session is my second announcement that I have. So applications have opened. So the process, of course, looks different than it does last year, and it looks different than it does before, but there's not a rule book to it. And so for this year, I am having applications. I don't know if I'll have it for next semester, but for this year, I want to have applications simply for the fact that there hasn't been really that much legislation passed by senators. So there's not that much to base it off of. But a majority of you all have been at meetings on time. You've been at office hours on time. So we have attendance is pretty much perfect for pretty much everyone. So it's okay, where do you gauge it off of? And so there, from my understanding from past meetings, when this, or not past sessions, senators would nominate. And so you all will still be able to nominate, but from the I just want to get a little more information from you, exactly why do you want to be senator of the session, and then from there, I'll bring those nominees to the Senate session. So it's not like I'm blocking anyone from coming to Senate or to be senator of the session. I just want to have another process to it, just so I can get a little more information on exactly, why you feel that you're the senator of the session. I haven't looked at applications in the past 2 days, but please, 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 the one thing is that Paola and Navia. I need you all to, because the rest of the people who are on the list, I just need you to make sure that you guys join UNT SGA on OrgSync, because the application is only available for members of SGA, because obviously it's only for senators. And so I don't need any other students applying for it. And it's like, well, you're not a senator. You're not a part of SGA currently as an active member. So I need to make sure that you're a member in SGA. So you need to go ahead and join SGA on OrgSync. So then you'll have access if you would like to apply for the application. But all senators should already be on OrgSync. So if you're not on OrgSync and you know you're not, make sure that you are on there so we can make sure to tag you all. And if there's anything in the future where we need to give you all any abilities to review any forms or whatever the case may be, we can do that and it'll be easy. So please, Paola and Navia, just join SGA on OrgSync so we can make sure that you have a spot. Yes, Grant.
So for the guest speaker, do we just need to email you if we have one in mind, or do we bring them before us with us?
Yes, you'll email them. You'll email me. I'm sorry. Who you have in mind? There's like, it's just so they can touch base with me and send me their presentation, whatever case it may be, and I can have them on the agenda. So it's kind of the same process with legislation that you have to email me and for it to get on the agenda. I believe the deadline is Monday for guest speakers, but I'll have to check. It's either Monday or Sunday, but I believe it's Monday though, to be on the agenda. Okay, were there any questions for guest speakers or senator of the session? Okay, so there's no questions for that. So we already talked about college dean introduction. So of course, make sure that you guys, oh yes, Paola.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. How do I like check to make sure I'm on OrgSync? Because like I get the emails and stuff when you guys like when I fill out the forms and stuff. Yeah. So how do I know if I'm like?
So yours will look a little similar to this. So you'll just go to the home, and then you should be able to see your memberships that you have. And so if you don't, you need to just look up Student Government Association. And then from there, you'll see this button in blue and it'll say join. And then Michael or myself or whoever sees it first who's on exec will be able to approve it for you.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, oh, and she just approved it. Okay, so college dean introduction. So of course, make sure that you guys do reach out to your deans. So those introductions are mainly just to start conversation and for you guys to put a face with the name of the person who is over your college. From here, I expect that you guys just keep a good contact with that, with your dean, updates, etc. on what you have going on. I would hope that you all are speaking about your plans for your college, some ideas, some concerns that you may have. These are all good topic points to talk about with your college dean. And yeah, I mean, pretty much it's really just so you can get some more dialogue and possibly come up with more ideas that could possibly help increase accessibility for our students at UNT. Okay, so one-on-ones. So for one-on-ones, Stephania and Jordan, please go ahead and fill out the doodle that I have. So from right now, I have availability from tomorrow up until next Thursday. If that doesn't work, so we are in school until, well, girl, we're in school, of course, until December, but we go all the way remote after Thanksgiving break. And so if I need to add an extra week to that, I can, but the latest I will do is the 20th of November for one-on-one. So make sure that you have your one-on-one completed for this semester. A majority of you all have. I'm not trying to like call you out on the spot. I just wanna make sure that you just fill out that doodle so we can go ahead and get your one-on-one started. And yeah, I can answer any questions that you may have or just see exactly how you're doing in your position. I've gotten a lot of really good feedback from senators on one-on-ones. And so it's, you know, came up with ideas like for David, for the workshop that we had last week, concerns as far as I don't understand like where to go from here. And it's kind of been assessed and figured that out. So from what I've heard, I've been able to at least meet you all halfway and make it more accessible for you all to figure out how to, you know, move very easily within your position. Yes, David?
I was gonna say that I have only gotten 3 responses to the feedback form. It's very, very helpful. If you haven't, it's still open. Please, please fill it out. So it gives us input, and I made sure that it will be kind of anonymous, so you can give your honest feedback because it does really help us kind of see where do we need to kind of improve on. And the major feedback that we got was writing legislation. I know I sent kind of Cam the responses.
My bad. Hold on. Girl, not the election. Oh. My God, wait, stop. Okay, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. But yeah. So like, for example, like the workshop that helped so far, based on the 3 responses, it said the legislation roundtable with Cameron helped a lot. Also with Bill Time with JT. So I know a lot of us, based on 3 responses, we want to do this again, but it'll be very, very helpful if y'all fill it out so we can continue being good. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, it says everything David said. It's just really important just so we can get feedback. I mean, it takes probably no more than probably 3 minutes to do it, if that. So it just helps us out to figure out exactly how effective our workshops are and what else we can do. So moving forward, were there any other questions about one-on-ones? Okay, and like I said, so if those dates don't work for you, Stephanie or Jordan, just let me know and we can figure something out. Just feel free to email me. The doodle, you should be able to still go on there and select a day and time, and then I'll just send you a calendar invite. Okay, and I just got your response, Stephanie. All right, so next on the agenda, so you guys should have received office hours earlier today. And so I just want to leave this floor open for any questions on office hours. What? For officer reports. I'm sorry, I'm over here discombobulated. I don't know why the computer keeps on doing it. Okay, so this time I'll leave it open for officer report questions. Were there any questions? What is this doing?
Are we talking about like just officer reports, like the chief of staff and the officer reports? Yes. I'd like to bring the president into the call, please, if he could be made available.
Okay, well, we'll need a second from someone.
I second.
60 seconds.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay, I'm confused. You can ask your question, and then I guess Michael can just answer the question.
On the call.
Yeah, Michael's here.
I don't see. I just don't see like his face on the bottom bar.
He's in the participant list. It's like right at the bottom. I see it right on my screen.
Okay, now I see it. Okay, I had to pull it up on my side on the people thing. So, Mr. President, obviously you sent out the memo today on the veto of the piece of of the creation of the Office of OIG. Oh gosh. May I inquire why you took the full 14 days to answer a paper that should have taken only about an hour? I understand that you're busy and it's chaotic times on that, but I mean, like, we had numerous emails, numerous meetings to where we discussed the legality of this piece of legislation. I was wondering, why did you just now arrive at that conclusion in a kind of poor manner when we were trying to, and we did express trying to get this bill passed in time for the referendum for last week, as the minutes will show from last week?
Yes, well, as I expressed in the previous meetings, I have had to set up other meetings to talk to my advisor to kind of go over it. I went over it with Cameron as well. And it actually is in the Constitution. It's one of my powers that I can hold on to it for 14 days.
Yes, I understand that was in your that is within your constitutionally guaranteed amendment. So I was like, but my question is, why did you take the full 14 days in terms of on a paper that should have taken only an hour to pass when we had multiple meetings, multiple emails between each other? So I just wonder, and you never brought up these issues in the past, or you should have You should have been brought up, and I was just wondering, why did you just now arrive at that on the very last day of the 14 days?
Because I had to review the bill for myself and interpret what I wanted to from that bill. So therefore, I came to that conclusion.
And you came within that conclusion after months of talking about or previous meetings where those issues were never.
14 days does not equal months.
Hmm?
I said 14 days does not equal months.
No, Mr. President, what I'm saying is in the memo the veto memo that you sent out today, those two things that you wanted, that the reasons why you vetoed it, why were those not issues that you raised with us in past emails? Because Devin, I'd like to recognize Devin to speak a little bit more on this if there's any objection to it.
Cam, you're muted.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. So is there a second to allowing Devin to speak?
I second.
Okay.
Thank you, senators. So I think Grant raises a good point. The concept of the OIG is something that you've known about for months, and I think that's what Grant was trying to say. Certainly the text has changed over time. I'll be the first to admit that. But the concept has been around for months. I sent the original email to you in June. So this isn't a concept that took you by surprise. And in fact, we tried to introduce a near exact text of the bill a week prior, and then that was shot down. So I think what Grant is about the concept of the bill for months. You've had the text of the legislation for over 2 weeks because you saw what the constitutional amendment was the week prior. We understand that you have the 14 days. I think the question is, when I read a paper, it takes me maybe 5 minutes to read, 10 minutes, and it takes me not 14 days to understand what's in the text. So what's concerning here, because I know that in our previous emails and meetings, you've said that you don't support the OIG. And so I think what the perception is, that I hope you're able to dispel, is that you purposefully took 14 days in order to subvert having to take an action on the bill. And
Devin, please. Okay, so what we're not going to do is create conclusions as far as what was made. Okay,
well,
so
that's why I'm asking Michael to answer.
But listen, Michael does have the 14 days. And so I'll let Michael and I'll let you finish your question and your statement. But at the same time, if Michael has the 14 days, Michael has the 14 days. So as far as Michael, what he's saying.
And I appreciate you letting me finish my statement. And I do hope that the chair is able to remain objective during this discussion. But I do think that obviously Michael has the 14 days. I don't think anyone is disputing that. That's never been the problem. The problem is the fact that he took the 14 days when it was a constitutional amendment that was unanimously passed by the Senate with an obvious time crunch on it that the chair recognized when we were having this discussion. And so I find it odd that in, say, the week before the deadline for it to be placed on a ballot, that the president was so busy as to not be able to address such an important priority that the Senate unanimously considered to be a priority by passing the constitutional amendment in emergency status. So I don't think that Grant's questions are unfounded. I think it's a question that I've heard from a number of different senators, and I think it's a legitimate question. And again, I hope that if it's a situation where Michael's able to again dispel the concerns that Grant, I, and other senators have, then it's certainly something I'm looking forward to. But so far in this discussion, I've just heard I have the 14 days. Well, that's not the concern that I'm hearing. That's not the concern that I have, and I'm hoping that you can address the concern. But yeah, I appreciate the speaker allowing me to finish for my appointed time.
Well, as you said, when you were talking about how it takes you like 5 to 10 minutes to read a paper, I just wanted to address that. I'm not the same as you, so it takes me a little bit longer to actually read and kind of interpret things. I have had the bill, but it doesn't matter how many days I've had the bill, I still would have came to the same conclusion. And one thing that I wanted to address, I said in the veto memo, by me vetoing this bill, I am strictly vetoing it due to the errors that I found within the constitutionality of the bill. And I included those within that memo as well.
That's excellent, and I appreciate that answer. I think that really helps. I did want to ask a quick question. You said that you have come to the same conclusion, regardless if it was 2 weeks or months. So you do agree that you would have come to the same conclusion, whether it was the first day that you got the bill or the 14th. But I think the other question that the other point I wanted to make was it doesn't take me 5 or 10 minutes to interpret a page or two of information. If I knew that I had a chapter to read before a certain day and I read it, I knew what the topic was a month in advance. And, it was maybe a 2-3 page chapter. It would only take me maybe 5 or 10 minutes to read it, and it would take me maybe a day to interpret it. So I'm not quite sure that you dispelled the concerns. And when I was looking at your executive report, it didn't look like you were doing so much as to have to push back the constitutional amendment because, of course, like I said, it's a priority. But yeah, I do appreciate you addressing that. I don't know if any other senators have anything that they wanted to add to the discussion, but I know it was something that concerned me. It's something that I find somewhat disturbing, and I think it's unfortunate. It's not something that I'm glad has happened. Obviously, I'm an author of the bill. But I also know it's a concern I've heard from other senators, and so on their behalf, I did want to make some comments as well. But I do appreciate Michael. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. One thing that I just wanted to address, as far as my executive report goes, I don't include literally everything I do. There are countless other meetings and other things that I do not include in there. Second off, if any other senators would have anything to say about this, it's their time to say that now. It's not your place to say that there's other senators who have said that.
I appreciate that. But could you provide some examples of some of the meetings you've had, just so that there's some full transparency here?
Yes, there's countless other like university-wide committees and stuff that I serve on, task force, different things of that nature. So.
Okay, can you provide some of what those committee meetings were, or any meetings with administration? Because the concern that I have is that executive staff is sitting on these meetings, and it's a concern I brought up in the past. Is not a lot. There's a lot of executive branch members on these committees, and so the understanding is, okay, well, if we're not going to include regular students on those committees, hopefully at least the executive branch is going to provide information on what happens in those committees. So I would hope that in the executive. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, as far as you saying we're not allowing like regular students to be in those meetings, the thing was there was probably like 15 people that applied for committees, but out of that, majority of them applied for advocacy committees. So a lot of them, there was probably only 2 or 3 students who applied for campus-wide university committees. So it's not that we weren't allowing students to be on these committees, it's that students weren't showing interest. And whether or not students got placed on their first priority committee that they chose or not, that was up to the discretion of us, and they got placed within their first or second choice of committees. So as far as
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
I was just going to say, I appreciate your response to that. I went back to the feeds and I found that there were a lot of university committees that were not advertised through social media, such as Transportation Committee and the other committees that you said were important in the last meeting. So those weren't available to send it to the regular students because those weren't on the advertising materials to begin with. Now, there were some, yes, but not every committee. But anyways, it does venture. Oh, and I was just going to say, I did compare the initial committee appointments from last year to the initial committee appointments of this year. And there was a 25% increase of executive staff on those committees this year than there were last year, at least in the initial months of the SGA. So I do think there's legitimate concern that, there's not as much representation on the committees. But it does get away a little bit from the point of transparency, and that's something that I think I would have loved to pass the OIG in an administration where, there weren't some of these concerns, but it seems like there are. And I think it further reinforces the point of having something that is focused on transparency and accountability.
Could you go ahead and email me those 25% of the increase that you said? I would like
I can do that.
One
But
thing I would like to say in response to that, like I said, there was still not that many students who applied for these university-wide committees. So when that happens, we would have to put somebody on that committee. So it would be therefore probably an exec member. But could I also recognize Datavius Hill, our outreach director, to speak on this?
Is there an objection to allowing, or is there a second to that, please?
I have an objection.
Jordan.
Lord. Go ahead, Detae.
So I just wanted to speak on committees for a second because I have heard through the grapevine that these committees have been brought up in question throughout the past couple of meetings. And all I'm going to say about committees is there was definitely a post made at the beginning of the semester that promoted all committees that are available to students. Did they had all the advocacy committees on there. University-wide committees were not on there because university-wide committees were being put under review because of COVID-19 restrictions. And then there were departmental committees on the flyer as well that had options for students to apply. And I want to make this very transparent so no one has any questions. There were specifically 17 applications for those committees at the beginning of the year. Most of those were for advocacy committees. I can count on one hand how many people applied for these committees in question that we are putting strictly exec members on. And we made that decision based off of student applications and student interest. So, and I want to make this also very clear. My job is to promote these committees and to put students on these committees. It is not my job to go door to door asking students what specific committee they want to be on. I simply release the application, allow them to sign up, and respond to that based off of student interest. And I put them on their first or second choice committee and allowed them the opportunity to serve on those committees. If there are any questions about that, please feel free to email me at sgaoutreach@unt.edu.
I appreciate that, Davius. I also had a question regarding, it was actually for your report. I had sent a number of emails. I had asked if the City and State Relations Committee and the Non-Traditional Student Affairs Committee would be advertised through Recruitment Week. I didn't see any posts. I sent multiple emails following up after Recruitment Week. I was wondering if you could address that concern.
I would love to address it. And yes, I have seen your emails.
I can pull up the flyer right now to show that we did post it.
Please and thank you. And while he pulls that up, yes, Devin, I have received your emails. And when we spoke via email, you asked me to promote for a committee. You did not ask me specifically for a city and state non-traditional. Not that that is the problem, but the point I'm trying to make is the committees were being advertised during our Instagram takeovers, on our Instagram lives and stuff like that. I'm sure we all are familiar with Instagram. So when you post on Instagram, it expires after 24 hours. I personally, during my takeover that Monday, put on there that community applications were open. And there were also at least 5 total posts made about committees because I also sent out emails to all of our people who partaked in Instagram takeovers. And in that email, I put in there that these are the opportunities we have open for students. And it was the ambassador program and the committee applications. I was keeping tabs on the Instagram takeover, and that is what people were doing. And I have received applications for committees. Have I looked at them yet? No, I have not because they closed today. But I have also decided to extend the applications because I do think that more students can apply. But we also need to take a moment to recognize that morale is also low and we are in completely different circumstances than we have ever been in a year for SGA, and we are doing the best that we can do. Does it look like how we want it to look? Probably not. But are we doing our best? Yes, we are.
Certainly, Datavius, and thank you for addressing that concern. I simply just wanted a response because I hadn't received one yet. I see on there the departmental committees. There's not every departmental committee on there, and I think Datavius brought up the question of, or the concept of that they were under review. Could you go into a little more detail on what that meant?
So when I was speaking on under review, those were for university-wide committees, and those were our more interactive committees. And when over the summer, when I received my transition documents and I was following those kind of steps, I reached out to chairs on those committees, and they specifically told me that we're putting these on hold because they are like being under review for COVID restrictions. If you want to see those emails or whatever, I'll be more than gladly to dig them out and forward them to you.
Oh, that'd be I'm sorry.
Hold on, give me 1 second. All of the departmental committees were not on there because based on my transitional documents there and how they did it last year, these were the committees that were open to students to apply for.
So, and I appreciate that, and I'm glad that you're able to send those emails. I do appreciate it. Yeah, that was one of the concerns I had with the departmental committees. I was hoping that it would be an administration where we try to get more students involved. I think that was one of the things that the administration really ran on in their last campaign, and I was hoping that would mean bringing students to the table, and by table I mean a literal table in these committees. Like transportation. Transportation is one of the biggest issues students deal with, and there's no actual regular students on those committees. But we do stray away from the transparency concerns that the senator brought up, and back to that. Although certainly, if there's any conversations that need to be had about committees in the future, I'm more than happy to have them.
Okay,
I hope.
Pause. Okay, so I was just looking at time. So you've been talking for about 9 minutes. From what I've recognized when you started speaking at 6:34 p.m. So you have another minute as far as your discussion point that you want to make on the veto. I mean, because we've gone back and forth from a veto to asking detailed questions. So this is your last
minute. I appreciate that. I hope that there is tangible. I've always hoped that there's tangible action towards oversight and accountability in the SGA, and I hope that that we're able as an SGA community to move unanimously as a unit towards that goal. And I hope that the will of the Senate, which was unanimous in its decision on the legislation, is able to be represented tangibly in actions moving forward. Thank you.
All right. Were there any other questions for officers?
May I be recognized to speak?
Real quick, before we recognize the president.
Wait, hold on. I don't see any hands. Please raise your hand if you have a point. Grant, what were you about to say?
David has had his hand raised for so long, but before that, before the president speaks, I would like David to have his opportunity to speak.
I didn't see David's hand. Okay, David, go ahead.
I'm seeing that's getting a little heated. Do you mind? Can I move to take a 5-minute recess?
Okay, I'm not for sure what the policy as far as doing a recess.
I second that.
I object just because it's 6:45, and I think we should maybe keep this.
Let's go ahead. So we'll keep on going forward. Okay, Michael, was there a second to allowing Michael to speak?
I second. It's Senator Kelsey.
Okay, go ahead, Kelsey. Michael.
Okay, one thing I just wanted to say in regards to one of Devin's last comments about the Transportation Committee. One thing that I'll say about that, exec members are students on campus too. And I just wanted to let you know, when the Senior Director of Transportation and Parking Services reaches out to myself and Cameron personally to serve on that committee, then we're going to fulfill that duty and serve on that committee because that is a part of our job. So.
All right. Were there any more questions for exec reports?
I do.
Yes. Is that Casey?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Casey.
Just from observing just the past few minutes of discussion, it seems that Devin does have some concerns about a few things with the executive board, and since he is limited on time, I was just wondering if there could be possibly a commitment from the president to at least meet externally with Devin, possibly if that's good for both sides, to maybe go over some of these concerns, since it does take up a lot of time and he is limited within the Senate meeting. Because we do represent the students, and Devin is a student, and I think his concerns should be heard. And so maybe there's commitment from Michael with meeting with him.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll allow them at their own discretion to figure that out with external communication. And so hopefully they get together to figure out and assess concerns. Yes, Grant.
I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Senator Casey, but you were asking for a recorded thing during this meeting if the president would be willing to commit right here, right now to meet with Devin, who is a student and who we fight to represent every day. Is that what you were saying, Senator Casey?
I would like to see a commitment from Michael to meet with another student.
I'm confused. So we're holding people accountable now? I'm just confused. I just want to understand exactly what is the goal.
I'll go ahead and respond to that. May I be acknowledged to speak?
Is there a second to that?
I second.
Okay, go ahead, Michael.
Okay, in response to that, if Devin wanted to reach out to me so he can set up a time to meet with me, I would be more than willing to respond to him and meet with him. Devin has not reached out to me personally and literally addressed interest in speaking with me. So until he does so, then I will not be reaching out to him personally.
Due respect, I have.
I just want if it's still my place to speak, I appreciate the response from the president. I just wanted to let that be known since there was just a restriction on time and I'm just observing it. I'm not involved, but I just want to make sure that since there seems to be issues in this meeting as well as past meeting with some concerns, that this at least is somewhat being taken into account and addressed.
Of course. Okay. All right. So back to office reports. Were there any questions? Any more questions left?
I do, but for other exec members.
Okay, go ahead, David.
It's for the chief of staff.
Okay.
Is Danielle on the call?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey Danielle, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing pretty good. So in your executive report, you mentioned about our name tags. Do you know when we're getting in? I know you're just like we're still in the process. Do you have an idea of when we're getting those in?
Yeah, over the weekend, and I was able to like check my email and stuff. I got a few emails from some of the executive staff members just getting some name corrections and stuff. And I actually got a few names that I needed to add it to the list. So I'll be reaching out to Denton Trophy House this week. My hope is tomorrow. I'm going to give exec just one more day to just make sure that there's absolutely nothing left because like I had mentioned previously before, each mistake with the name cost us $10. And I want to make sure that everybody receives a name tag. So I don't want to have to make multiple purchases for the name tags. And I want to make sure that I don't have to spend unnecessary $10 if I can make sure that everybody's name is spelled correctly.
Thank you for that. Is it okay? I have
another question.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, it's not for you, Danielle. It's for someone else. For Dite.
Hi.
Heyo. So I saw that you are planning the general student body meeting. I was wondering what agenda items do you have so far? I know because you're still brainstorming. What are some of your ideas for how the meeting's going to go?
So that's a really good question. So basically the way that my planning process works is I meet with my outreach team every Thursday and we brainstorm ideas. But I know for sure that one thing that I would like to do at this general student body meeting is take time to focus on kind of the initiatives that Michael and Cameron ran on to get elected so we can update students on like the things that exec has been doing for our initiatives that we were assigned a little bit ago. So I would definitely want to focus on that and kind of any other messages that exec would have for students. But if y'all need a spot to open up for Senate messages to students, please feel free to email me and we can work that out.
Perfect, thank you. Sorry guys, I'm going through everybody. The human resources HR director. Sorry, I don't know your name. I forgot it.
Evan, he's not here.
He's not here.
But I can definitely answer any questions you have.
Perfect. So one thing that he mentioned about was increasing engagement with Senate and also more involvement with SGA. What are some of those ideas that we're talking about? Because I know y'all brainstorming, but what ideas do you have so far for that?
Danielle, I can speak on those plans because me and Evan have been meeting. So as of right now, myself, Evan, and Peyton have met to discuss retention ideas within Senate. So ideas that we've came up with is, so we've expanded on Senate connections. We've also talked about Senate referrals. We've also talked about having a week planned promoting and I guess celebrating senators. We've been planning, really, I mean, that's about it. So we've been just boggling right now with, like I said, touching base with colleges for one. So getting those numbers up, but also touching base with organizations. So that's been the other key thing. So that's what they're working on right now. These initiatives and plans, events, et cetera, won't be available until the spring, of course, because we want to make sure that, of course, we're in person or somewhat in person, and that these activities can work and be as successful as we want them to be. But as of right now, those have been the three things that we've been working on. Yeah, if that's answering your question.
Yes, and hopefully also y'all can push that concerns electronic form that I've passed in the summer as well, because they're also talking about getting concerns from our student body as well. But I have one more last person. Sorry, I'm taking forever. It's for Armani, the communication director.
Go ahead. Monty's not here.
Oh, she's not. So she mentioned that she's been locked out from the website, so she can't post anything. Do you have an idea when that's going to get situated? Because she said that supposedly Gia.
On that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Amani actually attended her website training with some of the people who are in charge of like website design for the Division of Student Affairs. So she just received access to that, I think, on Friday. So she will be updating the website. There was a list that Cameron and I had sent her of things that we would like to have added or changed on the website. So she's currently working on that with her communications team.
Okay, perfect. Because on our website, I know y'all been training her, but I just want to make sure we have all our minutes and recordings of our meetings, because it kind of stopped on September 30th, and we're now in November. I just want to make sure our constituents are informed about what's going on in our meetings.
Yeah, it was just because the transition from when Gia was communications director to actually getting Amani in and getting her approved through Senate.
Okay, that's it. That's all. That's really, sorry, it was take forever.
Okay. Were there any other questions for officers? Okay, so last thing I wanted to show you all, I don't know where was it? What happened to it? Oh, here it is right here. So homecoming week, of course, is this week. So as of right now, we are actually coming up on the last event for tonight. So casino game show. And then tomorrow we do have a couple of different events to get involved with, and then Friday as well. So definitely feel free to, of course, cast your ballot for homecoming court, but also feel free to go to any homecoming event that you guys would like to go to. So the events are virtual events that they do have offering for students. And then, yeah, homecoming game is on Saturday. So I hope that you guys have a very safe homecoming week. And if there's nothing else, I'll adjourn the meeting at 6:56 p.m. All right. Nothing else. Okay, so bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Everyone have a good night.
Bye.